Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Admit that I'm on steroids. If I were on steroids, don't you think I actually would have bulked up like way more significantly than I have? If anything, the gains that I've shown are minor gains, which is what happens when you just work out naturally and you're not taking any kind of crazy supplement or growth hormone. You know. If I was on roids, my whole arm would have been like twice, 3 times the size it is right now. You're right, I am more buff than Johnny Cage and MK1. It's pretty sad. No one realized it because the digitized graphics were so bad back then, but we just played it the other day like, dude, he's like skinny as shit. He's like a twig. What would I recommend for second or third monitor content? When I used to go into total relaxation mode back in the day, here's what I would do. Okay, no, this is not even me lying. This is exactly what I used to do. Okay, first of all, I'd be sitting on my couch in my living room in my condo in Connecticut. Okay, this is when I was single. On the couch, I would have my drink of choice. A lot of the times, way back then, it was rum and Coke. With Coke Zero, though, not full sugar Coke. Coke Zero and rum. Okay, so I had my drink. On the TV, I would have a game. Usually like an RPG or something that you can grind in. So it's kind of mindless and repetitive, but by doing this repetitive action, you actually get advancement in the game or it makes the game easier. So think a turn-based RPG like Blue Dragon, or think back when I was playing my first playthrough ever of Demon Souls. I would grind on the TV. Then I had my computer set up next to it, and on the computer monitor, I would have that watching either YouTube videos, watching TV, like I used to watch wrestling, so I would actually watch wrestling on there, stuff like that. So I would have a show going, I would have a game going, and I would have getting my drink on, all at the same time. That's how I used to relax back in the day. Back when I was probably closer to your age range, whoever asked that question, because, you know, I'm probably double your age right now. There we go. The Only Moxerist says, thanks for the MK Collection gameplay. Funniest thing I've seen in a minute, the CPU is so cheap. Yeah, I'm shocked you guys like it that much. I didn't think you would, but it is funny, is it not? I think it's entertaining to see how much it cheats. Yo, I actually just listen to this. There was a comment on my video today. It was a hater, a blatant troll. And they said, you know, you always say that there's input drops and lag, but in this case, I have to admit that this game actually does have it. It's really bad. Wait, what? Someone actually gave me credit. Like, no, actually, in this case, the game is a piece of shit. It's the one time ever you've said that about a fighting game. It's true. So there you go. If you say it didn't happen, go check my comments right now on the Mortal Kombat videos. It's on there. I approved the comment. Did I see Mudahar scandal thoughts? No, I did not see the Mudahar scandal thoughts. The only thing I ever heard about Mudahar scandal was that for years and years, he's been saying that he was an engineer, and it was outright proven he's not an engineer in any capacity at all. He just made it all up. But that's the only thing I know about Mudahar scandal. I don't follow this drama shit. I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's like how I say I have a business degree when I have a finance degree. Finance is part of a business major. Where do you think you go to school for finance? The fucking liberal arts college? You go to the business school, you idiot. What a dunce. Let's get started tonight embarrassing the dunces of the internet. Come on. No, please stop saying that. Stop saying felted. You want to say felted, you can go do it on your own time. You can go say it on the Kino Casino stream. I never liked that term at all. I always fucking hated it. And I only used it during that time frame, and I haven't used it since. I'm not going to. So please don't say felted. It's for idiots. It really is for like low IQ people. Yes, I used it all the time because I was part of the shtick, and now I'm not part of the shtick anymore, so I don't have to act like an idiot, like a mentally challenged moron. I can be a normal, intelligent person again. I've loved it. Trust me. I loved going back to being normal. All right. You guys are trying to bait drama, but I'm not going to give you the nice clips that you want tonight. Although I could be honest and tell you the truth, but you'd have to pay me for it. Anyway. Well, Sneed Cobain, I don't know. I mean, honestly, Sneed Cobain just said something. He says, isn't it crazy that you keep hitting your goals and getting crazy amounts of positivity and support even after leaving Kino Casino? You totally snaked them and felted them, right? Now, Sneed Cobain, honestly, are you saying that sarcastically or are you saying that truthfully? I actually don't care if you're saying it either way. But I'm curious, how do you feel? Like, do you actually feel that or are you just saying that sarcastically? Honest question. Let's see how he answers. Well, I was paraphrasing because his comment goes off the screen so goddamn fast. I didn't do it word for word, but that's generally what he's saying. He said, God's honest truth, it feels so much different compared to with back in the day. Dude, is it not? Is it not? Take a look at my stream right now. Just look around me. Crazy good lighting, a great camera, great audio, expensive peripherals, fancy shit, lighting that no one else even fucking has. No one even bothered setting shit up like that for their streams. They're all fucking schlubs, right? I got a decent audience. It's not a huge audience, but the audience that's here is engaged, having fun, and loves the content. We're all having a good time together. And like you said, I get supported pretty much every stream. Every stream. It used to be the complete and polar opposite. It used to be all my content was low-grade tech, right? Fuzzy-ass camera, horrible lighting, terrible visuals, terrible audio. Everything looked like shit. I didn't have any money to ever change any of it or improve any of it. I couldn't play a driving game because I could never afford a wheel or anything like that, right? The audience would come in, and yes, I would have more viewers, but half the viewers were trolls or worse. It would come in, no one would contribute. It would be a bunch of fucking trolls. And at the end of the day, I'd be streaming all day, and I'd make $40. Like, it's been a complete fucking turnaround. Has it not? Now, like I said, it used to be that I would have strings of bad streams, and I'd be like, I'm desperate that this marathon goes well. I have to have $1,000, $2,000 goal for the marathon because I'm banking on it. I really need it. Now it's like the marathon's just something we do for fun. I don't even need it to happen. We could skip the marathon if we want. I don't even have a goal. I never have a goal for the marathon. I don't need it. I'm good. Take a look at me physically. Take a look at all the weight I've lost, the muscle I put on, how healthy I am now compared to how I used to be, and I'm going to continue this journey. This is not, oh, it was a quick thing, now I drop it. I'm going to continue this journey. You understand? And my personal life is way better and more healthy now. Everything has dramatically improved. Dramatically. So, again, I don't know if Steve Cobain was being serious or not, but it really is a factual observation what he said. So, guys, remember, we have kept Truck Sim in the rotation for as long as we have, ridiculously long, for 57.4 gameplay hours, all right, spanning all the way back to what? When did we start this? March or April? I think it was around April, actually. Maybe it was March, but I think it was April. So it spanned this long because of your attendance, engagement, and support. Your generosity, your participation in these streams has allowed me to keep this in the running. So as long as we keep doing that, I am okay with playing this once a week, every week, and us chilling and having a good time. This is why I have these nights where I drink with you to have fun interactions and conversation. Let's keep it rolling. Let's get some support. We have Mozzie who did the first super chat of the night. Now, let's get someone to give the first sub of the night over on Kick. Let's have the first tip of the night, and then let's have the first kicks of the night. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm being told to help with the spare tire, the solution is leg raises. You lay on your back, isolate your stomach muscles, and leg raise. Wonder if I could do that on my bench, because my bench doesn't move up. Like, there's no weights you could put on it. I'd have to research the exercise and see if I could do it on my bench. My bench is very basic. Well, that's just a lie. You cannot see my moves because I don't have moves anymore. They're completely gone. That's a complete lie. So if you say it again, I'll just ban you because you're just outright full of shit. All right, let's go. Let's get our first tip of the night. Let's get our first sub of the night. And let's get a membership as well. Let's get one of each. Well, as I said that, your future stepdad gifted 5 subscriptions over on Kick. Thank you so much, your future stepdad. You're confused when the stream starts. The stream is on now. It did. So when does the stream start? I don't know. Are you blind? You're watching with your eyes closed? Holy moly. Would I ever consider doing a workout stream in the studio? How would that be possible? There's no room in here for a workout. However, I've been asked, would I ever do workout videos? I say, yes, I would give you workout videos, 5 bands. For 5 bands, workout videos will be possible. Don't you understand the lingo of 5 bands? You don't get it? Oh, I guess I have to actually speak in English. $5,000. Sorry, I was using lingo from my favorite streamer, LTG. I guess not everyone understands that high intellect lingo that he uses, so I have to degrade myself down to your level to use normal speak. $5,000. If someone does a $5,000 contribution, then you can get workout videos. There you go. Bandit, thanks for a $2 super chat. He says, do you have your own troll YouTube channels? Yes, you may not be aware of this. Actually, half the Detractor channels are me. I own them all, and I operate them. It's just that people are stupid, and they think that those are people, like, you know, actually running them. No, it's me. So I make all the money on those. There you go. It was a big 4D chess, you know, game all along. You just didn't understand it because you weren't smart enough. Club Siffler, yeah. He says, even though it's not your focus anymore, it's cool that you're still uploading your playthroughs to YouTube for your OG fans. Yes, and you notice I'm still doing it in the same format. Individual videos of an hour long, thumbnail, title, in a playlist. It's not, oh, here's my archive stream from today of 5 hours that includes music at the beginning, podcast, gameplay, and outro. You figure it out, and, you know, I put it on you to do the work. No. I've always tried to go above and beyond when it comes to that kind of stuff. I always wanted to make it as user-friendly as possible. I've always tried to put in the extra work and go the extra mile, but sadly, I don't really think it was ever really appreciated by the mainstream masses who just don't get it. They'd rather, oh, I want to watch the streamer that has 5 zillion views on a fucking stream that they didn't ever touch because they're lazy as shit. You know, so it's hard to even watch any content I want after the fact. Thank you for the early support, everyone. Again, please remember, Truck Sim works because you guys are always here to hang out with me and support the stream. As long as we hit our support goal tonight and you guys stay engaged and we have fun conversation and we have a good time, Truck Sim stays in the rotation. So let's make it happen yet again. Like I said, the real challenge now, we're in November. Can we actually have Truck Sim survive till 2026? That'd be pretty insane. If Truck Sim survives till 2026, I'd be shocked, but hey, man. That's the thing. I never expected Truck Sim would have lasted as long as it has and that you guys would like it as much. Jade, so far, so good. Today has been a well-supported day. Anyway, welcome to the show. Time to open up my brew. It is it's the blueberry pomegranate flavored alcoholic seltzer, Avid Imperial. I don't really like this one, but it is my final 2 of these. Then I'm going to buy a new pack for next week's stream, if indeed we do one next week. So let's get this sucker open. Okay. It just smells weird. It does. It's like really sour. It is. It's a sour flavor, which is odd. Like you would think that you would want sweet apple flavoring. Instead they made it like sour blueberry, sour pomegranate. I don't know. Definitely not my favorite of the ciders that we've been drinking for the last month or so. That's for sure. Thank you to Mitchell. Mitchell makes vids at a $2 super chat. Long live the king, do a podcast with Wings. Wings does not want to do any kind of a long-term commitment with me at all, to my knowledge. I can't even get feedback out of Wings if he enjoyed being on the show a week ago. Like, I would love to hear if how much he liked it, if he would, be interested in maybe showing up again. He basically doesn't talk to me. He has responded to me and basically says, I don't like talking to people online. That's what he said to me. He goes, I just don't like talking to people online. Like, okay, well, then how am I supposed to communicate with him? Right? How am I supposed to communicate with the guy? I mean, I don't have his phone number. I can't call him. Right? All I have his information to contact with him online. So, like, here's my idea. I'll run it by you guys, and here's what's going to happen is people are going to tell him my idea now because that's what people do is they just reiterate. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's see what you guys think of this. All right? Where the hell is the job? Is that it? Here it is. I was like, where the hell is it? There it is. All right, I got to turn around. Here's my idea. All right? I don't want to do anything that's a humongous commitment for the guy. Because number one, I know that he's already said that on a whim, he might go back to Lolcow Live if he needs the money. We don't know how the next month's going to go for him. I mean, there is Call of Duty, but he hates the game. He knows Call of Duty is a moneymaker for him. But what's to say that it's going to go super well or whatever? So, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. The way he answered me on the podcast when he was like, oh, I might go back on Lolcow, I think he's going back on Lolcow. I don't know in what capacity. I don't know exactly when. But I feel like he's going to. I feel like he really doesn't want to. But much like Call of Duty, he understands that it's the one major way he can make money. And so he's just going to end up doing it anyway. Regardless if he wants to do it, he's just going to end up doing it, okay? So that's the thing. Like, he can never commit to be doing something ongoing with me if he, at a whim, needs to drop everything to go back on Lolcow to make money. So, here's my idea. And let's see if you guys like this idea or not, okay? I would like to maybe every once in a while do some content with Wings, all right? First of all, I really enjoyed the conversation that we had together last week. It seems the general consensus here is that everyone enjoyed the appearance, that there was, good discussion, good conversation about a lot of topics we didn't really flesh out. We didn't get a chance to because it was 2 hours and, we were the first time ever meeting. You go all over the place, bouncing all over topics. So here's what I think. I think that maybe every once in a while, all right, we should do something together like a show just like that, okay? Now, when you say, well, what is this, a dead end? How the fuck do I get out? How do I get out with this load? It's a dead end. I guess I gotta turn around. Let me see if I can turn the truck around. Okay. So, rather than him committing and being like, yeah, let's do a dedicated show together that we're gonna do, like, every week or every few weeks or, it's going to be on a schedule. I don't think he wants to do that. To be honest, I really don't think he wants to do that. If he wants to do that and he wants to come back at me and say, yes, I'd like to do that, that's different. I'm not getting that vibe. I think he's the kind of guy, he wants to shoot the shit every once in a while, maybe get caught up on topics, maybe talk about our history together as content creators and stuff like that. I think that's really where it shines, is doing these kind of one-off shows every once in a while. All right? I'd be okay with that. Like, for example, what if the end of November, we do another show together. And then maybe to end the year, like a Christmas appearance where he shows up on the Level 1 podcast and we hang out together talking about Christmas shit. I think that would be cool, right? I'd like to talk to him about what he did, Christmas traditions when he was growing up, what he does now with his family. Like, what does he do for Christmas? I'd love to hear it. I think that would be fascinating to compare stories and things about Christmas and different things that we like and stuff like that. So, boy, this is a real pain in the ass to get around corners with these forklifts. Holy shit, this is going to be a real annoying job. So I'm thinking maybe we do something together around Thanksgiving-ish. Maybe it could be right before Thanksgiving, maybe right after Thanksgiving. And then maybe we do something for Christmas. And it's just, basically, he just appears on the podcast just like we did, last week. We don't have to do it all the time. It doesn't even have to be monthly. I'm just saying it would be nice to do something around Thanksgiving and something around Christmas as like one-off appearances just to hang out. I think that would be good content, okay? Now, here's the thing. I'm totally okay with paying him for his time by splitting whatever profits that we make. So if he decides to show up on the show and there's stream revenue, because he's not streaming his end, I'm streaming it, I would split the stream revenue with the guy. Like, for example, whatever we make when he's on the show, I would split with him. Now, I don't know what we would make, and also it would be his prerogative if he wants to shout out contributions or not. Because the more we shout out live when he's on the show, the more he's going to make. If we don't shout them out, then they're all going to come out after he's gone, in which case, then he's not involved, right? So I'd be down for that. Exactly, like Smart Guys. When I was doing Smart Guys, I was splitting the profits with the co-host, okay? So that's what I would do. Now, it's up to him if he wants to do that or not. He told me he didn't want any money. So if that's the case, he wants to appear and not make any money, that's up to him too. But that's the offer I've got for him. 50-50 split of anything that comes in when he's on the show. Have him appear around Thanksgiving-ish and around Christmas. And each time we could talk a little bit about those holidays, but also talk about how we're doing in our own content. Talk about our history as creators. I think it would be great. Okay? And hell, you want to call it? Here you go. Wings and the King. Special edition, Wings and the King on the Level 1 podcast. That's my idea. If you guys like it, let me know. If you don't like it, its ass, then we don't have to do it. But that's my idea. So, and that's the thing. I wonder if he wants to do it or not. But again, he hasn't answered me. Basically, he just says he doesn't like talking online about anything. So I don't know how I'm supposed to get his feedback. Maybe what'll happen is now you guys will go to his stream and tell him this idea, see if he likes it, and maybe we'll talk about it publicly on his stream, and that's how I'll get his feedback. I know this is the weirdest, most roundabout way to ever get feedback on an idea, because I don't know why he can't just answer me, but he can't. He says that he doesn't like talking to people online, so there you go. Okay? King Ferb says, why not call it Kings of Redemption? What do you guys think about that? The Kings of Redemption. That's catchy too. That's actually probably a more catchy name than what I came up with. The Kings of Redemption. There you go. Good support so far tonight. We're already past the third of our goal to $62. Please, let's keep that momentum going. Remember, the more engagement and support we get, I'll keep this in the rotation. As long as we hit our goal and we get people hanging out and talking and having a good time, this will be once a week moving forward. And again, I think the goal right now should be, can we actually keep this going through the end of the year into 2026? That would be fascinating. I never would have thought that a game like this would have had this longevity, but it has. You guys like when I use the wheel accessory. You like when I hang out and I have a couple drinks with you. So, to ongoing success of American Truck Sim, right, everyone? Let's go. Would I go on Wings' show? Wings doesn't have a talk show. Wings doesn't do a podcast and doesn't have a talk show. He just streams games, so that wouldn't even work. How would that work? I'll be honest with you guys, I really am not interested in doing co-op gaming with Wings at this point. I think it's more fascinating to just hang out and talk rather than gaming. Oh, I don't do a podcast either? Then what's that thing that all my trolls complain about that I do in the morning before I stream? And they all say, oh, where's the game? Where's the game? Why are you doing this podcast? I don't do a podcast, huh? Idiot. That's the thing, the dumb shit people say about me now has now gotten to the point where it's so self-hypocritical of the trolls and critics that it's laughable. How on earth can you actually have a point when you contradict yourself in the fucking point? You claim I don't do a podcast, then you complain that I'm doing a podcast instead of gaming. But you can't do both. It's either I'm doing a podcast or I'm not. You're an idiot. Sylvanas, I say Kings now. Wings does not do a talk show. In fact, Wings has outright said he enjoys being part of a show as long as he doesn't have to direct it and run it. He's outright said that. He said he'll do a show as long as he doesn't have to actually organize it and do topics and run it. He just wants to join the show as a guest. He's outright said this before, that this is what he wants to do. So I really, really doubt that he would want to run his own show and have me as a guest. If he did, I would consider it. He hasn't said a word. Here's the truth. I like running shows like that. I like having a guest. I like having someone to talk to and have a conversation with, bounce ideas off of, get answers to questions. I like it a lot. I feel like I would excel at it if I got to do it more often. The problem is I can't because people don't want to do it with me because of my trolls. It's that simple. People don't want to do it with me because of my trolls. They're annoyed that my trolls are going to come after them if they have any involvement with me. So I get people lined up, they're excited, and then they do research, they're like, wait a minute, but your trolls constantly dox people on the internet. Your trolls constantly harass people on the internet. Well, we can't have that. We can't be a part of that activity. So the answer is no. I've had people who actually I had lined up last year to be on the Level 1 podcast as a guest, and they backed out when they found out about the trolling. So I would love to. I think, if anything, as I get older, I do less gaming and more content like that. Abso-freaking-lutely. But there's not much I can really do to make that work. Because, I agree with people that right now, there's a insane group of harassing weirdos who go after people who do something positive with me. Is Boogie a possibility? Why would he be a possibility? What on earth are we talking about? The guy literally does nothing but sit on Long Cow Live now. If he's even still on the show, I don't even know. But the thing is, with Wings and me, I feel like we have a lot of similarities with the content creation, with our histories on Twitch and YouTube, with our trolling communities that follow us, all kinds of shit like that. Of course, we're very different people as well, but we have a lot of commonalities. I really don't even know what commonalities I would have with Boogie at all. Alex from Phoenix did a $2 super chat. He says, what if you had, down the line, you had fans as guests? See, again, I used to do that. I used to have people call in who were fans and we would have conversation. But the problem is, if I were to do that today, those fans would be systematically harassed. 100%. You know it too. You know, those people would come after them. And they'd find your socials and they'd harass you there and they'd try to contact you at your fucking job. You know, that's how broken these people are. They think that absolutely nothing is off limits and that they can mess with you however they want with no repercussions. So quite frankly, I would advise against it unless someone really did have an online presence that was completely disconnected from their real life in every possible way. Like there was no way that they could find out your personal information and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the only situation where I would say, okay, you know. Get Lumix on? All right, I'll get Lumix on the podcast. Let's see what he has to say. I'm gonna ask you, I'll be fascinated. I'll be like, Lumix, tell us all about the life of a clipping detractor. What's it like to have to watch someone you don't like all day, every day, to find the highlights so you can make a highlight video and make money on YouTube? What's this existence like? I don't know, man. Well, here's the thing. Sweet Codeine says you could do something that's somewhat adversarial, like when you had Stuttering Craig on the show. People wouldn't do anything about that. But here's the thing. I don't want to do that kind of content. I don't want to do constant adversarial content. I don't want to do toxic content. I find it way more fascinating when I do stuff that's not like that, right? Like, okay, I would argue, let's think about this. What was the better interview and or appearance? The interview that I did with Keemstar or the interview that I did with Stuttering Craig? If you ask me, the Keemstar interview was like 50 times better than the Stuttering Craig interview. Only because with the Keemstar interview, we were cordial with each other, we were respectful with each other, we actually talked about some things in a very calm manner. We didn't go at each other, and it ended up being a fun experience overall, where at the end of the day, we didn't want to murder each other, right? The Craig interview was so pathetic because literally it was just the guy completely refusing to admit he did anything wrong when he gets called out 17 times in a row for what he did wrong. And he did, but you lied about WWE champions. What the fuck's your point? You don't have one. You agreed to have me on your show to do an interview. The agreement was not that I have to answer all of your questions absolutely God's honest correctly or truthfully. All I did was agree to an interview. And then after that, you said I could come on your show as a regular guest like everyone else already had and had a good time. You immediately reneged on your agreement. You are a liar, you're a snake, you're a backstabbing scoundrel. It's that simple. There's nothing else about it. And he basically would never get off the fact, well, you lied about a mobile game. So what? Who gives a fuck if I lied about a mobile game? What if every word out of my mouth was a lie during the interview? I still did your fucking interview for free, which is what we agreed to. But he doesn't understand that because he's a fucking dunce, and he wanted a big payday and big notoriety on the internet for the appearance. So when I have him on the show, it's this big, angry argument. He won't do nothing. He won't be cordial. You know, he's just a jerk. He's a fucking jerk. So that's what I mean. Like that interview, I didn't really like as much. I wish it had gone differently. I wish I could have had like a breakthrough with the guy to let him understand that he was being a disingenuous piece of shit. But you can't have a breakthrough with someone who doesn't have morality or a conscience. He doesn't. I mean, this is a guy who literally time and time again started a business, ran it into the ground, sold it off, and screwed off everyone involved with it. He did it with Screw Attack. He did it with that second business. He's done it again and again. I wouldn't be shocked if he does it with his current show right now. That he runs it into the ground, sells it off to try to make money again. He's a track record of being this kind of a snake oil guy. You know what I mean? This slimy dude. So, not shocked that it happened. I just didn't realize that about that guy until after the fact. But, again, I want to do content that's more positive and meaningful, that builds bridges, that has meaningful conversation. Then when people tune in and watch, they're like, oh, that was interesting. I learned something, or, you know, I got something meaningful out of it. Not, oh, I saw two guys who yelled at each other the entire conversation, and they looked like two immature dicks. You know, I don't get satisfaction out of that, to be honest. I don't really feel like I got anything out of the Stuttering Craig interview at all. I think it was a waste of time. As opposed, again, to the Keemstar interview, I think that was a complete constructive piece of content. That one actually helped the internet in a lot of ways. People looked at Keemstar in a different light, and me in a different light. That was a good thing. That's the kind of content that we need. Not people just fucking trying to rip each other's faces off. And that's what it seems like everyone wants me to be involved in, and I don't want to be involved in it. I could have done that. That's what they wanted me to do with the dumb shit that Kino Casino was coming up with that was just brain-dead stupid shit that I refused to do. I got a $2 tip. He says, the links people go to harass anyone vaguely associated with you is insane. Random distant family members, police officers who you might have even briefly talked to, delivery drivers, plumbers. I don't think you know about the time SOK contacted someone who did your plumbing. No, I wouldn't know anything about that. Quite frankly. Honestly, if you want to know the truth, I don't think they ever did contact anyone that ever did my plumbing, because I don't think I ever had any plumbing work done until the SOK was actually disbanded. I think the SOK was just full of shit a lot of the time. Like, remember when they supposedly talked to the people who were part of the partner company that I was trying to get a managed partnership with? What were they, Laveria Media or whatever? The people they talked to did not work for Laveria at all. I'm almost positive they made that entire thing up, because the people who they talked to don't work for that company. I talked to two separate people at that company, and it wasn't the people who they ever talked to. So I'm pretty sure that they made the whole thing up. So I'm pretty sure they probably made up this plumber thing too, because again, I didn't have any plumbing work done here until... I think I had plumbing work done, maybe it was right before my wife moved in, or at the time my wife moved in, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly, but at that point, the SOK was already, like, embarrassed on the internet and disbanded and exposed for the losers that they were. So how the fuck did they talk to a plumber? I never had a plumber here. It's too bad we don't have Dunsfelter here tonight, because Dunsfelter is usually here for these streams, and he's not tonight, so there's a lot of trolling over on Kick, but I'm not really able to moderate it because I'm trying to drive while I still talk with you guys. So please understand, I'm trying to do my best here, but it's kind of tough. I'm trying to drive with one hand and not hit cars and drive off the road while I'm also trying to moderate trolling over on Kick. It's kind of hard. I have a few mods for Kick. It's just that most of them don't ever want to show up unless I ask them to. Like, if there's a super important special event or something, I'll ask them to show up on Kick and they'll come help. But in general, most of my mods just don't like being on Kick. I'm just gonna be honest, they don't. Because Kick brings the troll element a lot more than YouTube. So they just don't want to sit there and just see toxic shit all day. Or a lot of mouth-drooling idiots saying dumb shit. I'd rather be in a more intelligent place. I'm just being honest. Personally, it's like I said, when I used to go to these conventions and I was a guest, I was absolutely baffled why anyone would line up in a line and wait to get my autograph. I don't know why anyone ever wanted my autograph. You can literally, every day, go online and watch my content on my YouTube channel. Why do you need my autograph? What purpose does it serve? If you like Mark Hamill as the voice of the Joker, you can literally go rewatch Batman the Animated Series every day. You could go play Injustice. Why do you need to meet Mark Hamill and get his autograph? What purpose does it serve? See what I'm saying? Like, I never understood it. And I think to this day, maybe there's something that just doesn't click in my head. Can we get some more support so we can hit the goal tonight and keep American Truck Sim in the rotation? Let's go. Chill as a Cherry says, do you think you're going to regret spending most of your life inside of a house, spending no time, meaningful time with friends, and doing anything? listen, first of all, I had a very eventful life before I became a full-time YouTuber and moved out here. Before 2014, most of my life was IRL shit. I traveled playing Street Fighter for like 15 years of my life. It was constant in-person interaction with people, going to arcades, going to their houses, going to fucking tournaments. That was my life. I was flying everywhere. I was traveling everywhere. In my youth, that's literally the polar opposite of what I do now. All right? So you're acting like since the day I was born, I was sitting in front of a TV streaming games. That's not true. I didn't start doing that actually full-time until 2017. My life was very different, okay? Now, you're talking about now. Now, I am married. I have a full-time job as a streamer, and I'm married. My wife is my best friend. If anything, if I have more free time, you know who I want to spend more time with? My wife. Not anyone else. I don't want to have other friends. I just want to spend more time with my wife, who I don't spend enough time with as it is. So you'll understand this one day when you find the right person, and you have that person who you want to spend as much time with as possible, and you can't because you're busy all the time, then you'll get it. But the thing is, you're a single schlub right now who's trying to criticize me on my stream, and you don't understand it because you're younger than me. One day you'll get to that age, hopefully, you'll find the right person, and then you'll be happy just like me, and you'll get it. But a lot of people who criticize me in my life don't understand that the life is great, that I'm incredibly happy with the way that it is, because I set it up that way. Like, I actually... No, you're not. Oh, you're not married. You're such a fucking liar. Ban that guy right now. Dude, you are literally sitting on my stream right now telling me basically that my life sucks. Even though I'm the one with the audience, I'm the one making money, getting healthy, happily married, and you're gonna tell me you're married? No, you're wasting your fucking life watching me saying shit like that to me on my stream. You're not married. No one would marry you, all right? You understand that? No one in their right mind would even talk to you of any kind of a fucking gender. You're the one who sits in your fucking basement all day smelling like fucking stinky ass fucking socks, all right? No one else fucking talks to people like you. Anyway, I'm not against the idea of having guests on the podcast. I wouldn't want Wings to return. He's someone who isn't capable of owning up to his mistakes and would bring down the show as a whole. Did you get that impression on the first show that he was on? I didn't. But then again, I felt like the 2 hours that we were talking literally flew by so fast that we didn't have a lot of opportunity to really flesh out any topics at all. Maybe if we did, maybe if the show was longer, again, maybe if he was on every once in a while and we talked longer, maybe then we get to a point where it would be like, you know, where it would be like, oh, you know, he's full of shit about something. Like, to be honest, he's the one who brought up the topic about fighting. Oh, you think you could beat me up? First of all, I was like, no, I never said that. What I said was, you would never hit me if we had a fight because I would just dance around you. Dude, I'm like a third of your weight. There's no way you would lay a hand on me because I have the stamina to just dance around you till you tire out. You're going to tire out in just a few minutes. And then he goes, well, I would cut off the ring and I'm professionally trained. I was like, yeah, but if we were going to fight, I would train too. And then after that, just the topic drifted off into something else because I don't think there was anything else to say. You know what I mean? So maybe eventually, yeah, if we had talked longer about these topics, we would have gotten to a point where it's like he's backed into a corner about something and he just doesn't want to talk about it anymore or moves out. You know what I mean? Like, I think in his head, he legitimately does actually think that, like, he could beat me up. When in reality, he would never beat me up in any circumstance unless he jumped me and got the jump on me. You know what I mean? That's about it. That's the only situation it would happen. But I hear what you're saying. Again, maybe you know Wings better than me. At least, I feel like the show went well enough and there was enough interest, right, that drummed up, that at the very least, we should give it a shot to make it be an ongoing thing every once in a while. I don't want to do it all the time because then it would be not special. It would be too common and it would be boring. But to every once in a while have him on, we could talk about, let's say, for example, he comes on the weekend after Thanksgiving, right? So he could talk about all kinds of topics. How did your Thanksgiving go? What did you eat, right? What do you do for Thanksgiving? What did you do when you were a kid? Did you have different things and traditions that you did? Because my traditions today are different than what I did when I was a kid, right? And then we can talk about how are your streams doing? How's stuff been going since Call of Duty came out? You know, how are you doing with things like, I know your weight has been an issue. Did you make any progress on that this month? You know, just stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be that kind of conversation works. But eventually, if he comes on so much that we get to points where it's like it feels like the guy's just full of shit all the time. Do you really think I want a guy on the show who's just full of shit all the time? Of course not. But this, I don't know that about Wayne. I don't know him well enough. We haven't talked enough. We've talked once. You see? So I'm totally cool with having him on again. I'm a fair guy. I'm gonna give him a chance. He seemed really cool the first time that he was on. I'd like to have him on again. Cracker Jack says, I've been married 31 years and I know where you're coming from. Well, there you go. When you find the right person, okay? And especially if you're the kind of person that you're a busy person. I'm busy all the time working, right? I wish that I could spend more time with my wife. I can't, right? So now, if you haven't noticed, oh God, look at this. I just lost control because I just had to make a crazy turn out of nowhere. That's crazy because if the speed limit is 55, how was I supposed to make that turn with the truck at 55? It wasn't even possible. Anyway, basically when you get to a certain level of being busy, right? You wish that you could spend more time with your significant other. She's my best friend. That's who I want to spend time with. I don't want to go out and have 10 other friends who I want to spend a lot of time with. Coworkers, like someone to come on my show and we do work together or something, that's different. But I want to spend time with Kat, Someone who doesn't get that. Here's the funny part too. This guy in the stream who's calling me out saying, oh, I don't have any real life interactions or whatever, but you're married, right? So why aren't you with your wife right now? Why are you sitting on my stream criticizing my life? If you're married, why aren't you spending time with your wife? Would you not like her? Does she not like you? So when we turn it on itself, we can easily analyze the situation and figure out where the real problem is. The problem isn't me, the problem is this idiot whose life sucks and wishes he had my life. So now he's got to try to bring me down in a way that makes him feel better about himself, right? It's just funny to me because when people say stuff like that to me on a stream, or when people criticize me online and they're like, you don't have any friends. Like, wait a minute. Well, I have people I'm friendly with. I'm friendly with my moderators. I'm friendly with certain people on stream. I'm friendly with other people online as well. I still talk to people from the FGC from back in the day who I'm friendly with. Maybe I'm not friends because I don't have a lot of time to spend, but I am friendly with people. I'm married happily. I'm having a great time with my life. I wish I had more time with my wife. So what is your criticism exactly? It's like, well, you're not fitting my exact interpretation of what your life should be. Well, when I was single and in my 20s, I had a ton of friends. I had tons of friends who I spent time with. We would travel and go to tournaments together. We would hang out outside of that, go drinking, go bowling, hanging out, play pool. We did all that shit because I was single and I had time to do it. I wasn't full-time employed like this. So what is exactly your point? I think what it is, you get these people who are younger and immature, and they think that everyone should just live up to their standard of what's happiness or whatever, and it's not. Like, everyone's different. Everyone has a different life. That's okay. It's not your place to be criticizing how other people live, especially if they're happy and they're not hurting anyone. Then let them be themselves. Let them be happy. One person, maybe, never wants to be married whatsoever, but wants to have a lot of friends for their whole life. That's fine. There's no reason for you to criticize that. They can do that if they want. And then you might have someone who's happily married and doesn't have time for friends outside of that because they're busy. That's fine too. Why is one correct and the other wrong? I'm really at a loss. Like, if everyone lived exactly the same life, had the same goals, the same archetype they wanted to fill in, wouldn't life be boring as shit? If we all just went down the same exact path, had the same aspirations, had the same desires, the same things that we like and don't like. It really is. Variety is the spice of life. The fact that we have people who are so different from each other actually is what makes life entertaining and interesting, in my opinion. But I guess some people don't see that way. It's like, my way or the highway, agree with me or disagree with me. If you disagree with me, you're a villain. You're a horrible, heinous villain, right? We can't have agreements or agree to disagree on anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that mentality at all. I just don't. When I was younger, I was very pig-headed like that, but since I've been a content creator, since I've been a YouTuber, my mind has expanded dramatically, and I certainly don't think in that mindset anymore, that's for sure. Let's see here. Jag X Strikes did a $2 super chat, says you can be married and have IRL friends. You're right, but my life is so busy. I have so much going on at any given moment, right? I work at least 5 days a week, if not 6, to make ends meet, to get this, keep this going, to keep this nice house I have and everything. And then the time I have outside of streams, I want to be with my wife. Maybe if I had an insanely high-paying job where I was making like $500,000 a year, and I only had to work 4 or 5 days a week, then I'd be like, oh, I have all this extra time. I don't have extra time. So I don't need IRL friends outside of my wife. Do you get that? Okay, but thanks for $2. Let me run downstairs. Let me grab another drink, and then we'll continue on with the stream. All right, and let's go. Let's hit that goal. We're at 94, so great first half. Let's see how we do in the second half. Let's hit that goal. I'll be right back. Mozzie with a $2 super chat says, still waiting for you to get neutral seltzers. Oh, I looked into them. The neutral seltzers, they're really weak. They're only like 3.5% liquor or something like that. They're pretty darn weak. Like the ones that I'm drinking now are like 8-something%. And so were the other ones that I was getting. Those neutrals are like very, very weak alcohol. So even if I drank 2, I probably would barely get a buzz. That's why I didn't get them. I actually did find them at the store, and I was like, seems like they're more for flavor than for any kind of like alcoholic effect. Okay. Dunsfelter, you're here. Good, because earlier we had a couple morons in the chat. I tried to take care of them. I was driving with one hand and modding with the other like this, and it was kind of tough. I almost drove off the road a couple times. I'm glad you're here, man. Do I miss locker room talk with the boys? Not really, but like I said, I do still have friends from back home who I talk to from the Street Fighter days from time to time. It's not, not like it used to be back in the day when you're actually hanging out with them and stuff, but, Follow up to what I said before. Wings is someone who, when presented with his issues, never improves himself whenever he clearly has them. Best example is when you attempted to give him dieting tips, he never even considered what you said, or at least try to change for the best. To be fair, I have not followed if he's tried anything this week. I don't know. If you remember, the recommendations I gave him were stop drinking soda on stream. If you're going to drink anything on stream, only drink water and don't eat on stream. I didn't even tell him don't eat the bad food or don't drink the soda. I said just don't do it when you're streaming. I don't know if he's followed through on that or not because I haven't watched his content, okay? How long were Kat and I engaged? Actually, not very long. The thing is, that wasn't the plan. Like, if I remember correctly, so Kat moved in with me around February 2018. I'm pretty sure we got engaged in the fall. I want to say it was like September-ish. Okay? And we had absolutely no plans to get married. Like, we knew we wanted to, but we knew we didn't have the money for it. At that point, we're talking 2018, I was still in big financial distress. I didn't have any money. So we were like, listen, I'm happy we're engaged, but let's just wait. We'll wait till we can do it right. It may be years and years down the line, who knows, but we love each other. That's all that matters. We're together, right? We're committed. That was that. The whole thing in 2019, where we went to Connecticut to see my parents, and it all like fell in line. It was complete circumstance. Like, my parents reached out to me in early 2019 saying, listen, our health is turning for the worse. Particularly my mom had a few things going on that were really bad, and they didn't know if it was going to get worse or better. And basically the way that my parents pitched this whole idea of me going to Connecticut was as follows. We want to spend time with you while we are still capable of doing things. Like, we want to go out and do things together. We want to go to the zoo. We want to go shopping. We want to go to dinner. We don't want you to end up coming to visit us when we're decrepit, when we're falling apart, and we can't do anything. So think of this as like a do or die, you have to come now because we're getting diagnosed with health issues kind of a deal. So I agreed to do the trip. My wife and I were going to go out, but we didn't have any money. We were broke because we were so up to our eyeballs in debt at that point. So my parents offered to pay for the entire trip to go out there because they felt like it was us spending time with them. It was like a favor to them, right? But at the same time, as this was happening, we got engaged in all of that. So basically the way my parents spun it was, you're going to be out here. You got some family out here. You got great food out here. If you wanted to, not that my parents are rich, because it was not a big ceremony at all. It was like the smallest ceremony possible, basically, all in their house. And then at a local restaurant right down the street from their house was where we had our dinner, right? But saying, you could come out here and get married. And then, you could have a nice few days together. It's kind of like a honeymoon. Even though it really wasn't a honeymoon. It was just hanging out and having some food and doing some shopping and stuff. But it was better than nothing. You know, we couldn't afford to do a real honeymoon. So that's how they spun it. So, you know, we went from being engaged and having literally absolutely no idea when we were going to be able to get married at all, to within a few months, my parents pitching, hey, come out here, spend time with us, but also get married and everything. It was like, well, I guess it all kind of just came to be. It all kind of happened, and it worked out. So maybe it was meant to be. Maybe all that was meant to happen that way, because otherwise I actually have no idea when we would have gotten married. So, yeah, so really, I mean, we got engaged that fall, so it was September, and then we got married in April. So we weren't even engaged for a year. But we have been happily married for many years, so it worked out. It was definitely the right choice. Mozzie says, weddings are a scam. I'm happy that you guys did something intimate. I mean, we easily could have done something where we ended up inviting people, like extended family and friends and shit, and having a giant overblown ceremony, but it would have been so expensive and we didn't have the money for it. What's the point? You know? Oh shit, here we go. Whoa, that was close. What's the point? I mean, I get it, because I've been to big weddings. Like, when I was in the 2000s, when I had my office job and stuff like that, I went to a couple different weddings that were big scale weddings, big families, lots of friends. And listen, those are momentous occasions, but I can just imagine what those cost. And I just don't have that kind of money. You know, I think what it is, it's dependent on the size of your family and how much money your family has. Because I think to have a big wedding like that, you really have to have people who pitch in and help, right? Like, how can a couple who are engaged come up with that kind of money? Usually it's their parents or it's the family pitching it together to make that wedding happen. I don't have anyone like that. My parents are not filthy rich at all. My extended family doesn't really exist. You know, my family had a falling out many years ago. They don't talk to each other. It wasn't anything to do with me. They all just stopped talking to each other over the years. So, to be honest, like, even if I were to do like a big wedding, I would have definitely invited some of my relatives who I haven't seen in a long time, because I would have wanted to get caught up with them. And I probably would have invited some of my, like, Street Fighter buddies from back in the day who still live in Connecticut and stuff like that. But for the most part, I wouldn't have had that many people to invite to a big wedding, even if I had one, you know? So, and same thing with my wife. Like, she probably would have invited just a couple small, you know, people here or there, you know, tight-knit stuff. That's it. So, I just think that some people have it different. I never had that. I never had a giant family, extended family situation. When I was very young, I did. And I'll be honest, I miss it. I do miss that when I was younger, I had a family with a lot of, you know, family members, an extended family. We would hang out at the holidays and have these times together, because it all went away over the years. It was like kind of taken from me, and I had nothing to do with that. But you're like, damn. It's, you know what it is? It's like you don't realize what you have while you have it, but when it's gone, then you miss it. And that's exactly what it was for me when I was a kid. Kind of took it all for granted, didn't understand how special it was to actually have that family around. And then when they disappeared, it's like, wow, this kind of sucks. Now it's just me and my parents, and that's it. But that's life, you know? It happens. Some people are stuck with their family their whole lives. They can't, they're miserable. Oh, I hate that my family's at everything I'm involved with, right? For us, it's more like we're just kind of on our own doing stuff. And that's cool too. Again, like I said earlier on this very stream, you know, everyone is a little different. Everyone's life is a little different. Everyone has a right to live their life how they want, or just how it turns out, and that's fine. Variety is the spice of life. If you have a big, happy family who gets together and has a ginormous $400,000, $500,000 wedding with, you know, insane resort-level shit, and gourmet food, and dancing and all that, good for you. Or if you have a little rinky-dink wedding in your parents' hallway with just very close family and, you know, justice of the peace, and you go to a restaurant down the street and you eat an amazing Italian meal and that's your whole wedding, that's cool too, you know? Seems like I'm comfortable with an estrogen-heavy environment. You say that again, I did Smart Guys with PPP for a lot of months there, man. That was a rough one. Anyway, excuse me. Let's get serious. Let's get very serious for the end of the stream now, right? Enough of that nonsense. Okay, can I hold on? No. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I got something to say. Ready? I'm going to say this now, and I just got to say it, all right? It's so funny because all these people on the internet, drama, right? I make drama content, I make lolcow content, drama content, okay? I'm sorry to say, are you not aware that drama content, gossip content, this whole kind of content, you do realize that is female-centric or gay-centric content, right? It always has been. 1,000,000%. Who's the one who's always gossiping behind the closed doors about each other? Who's the one who's all dramatic about each other, insulting each other's looks, insulting each other's actions, doing this backstabbing shit? That is girly shit teenage girls do and gay guys do. That's what it is. I'm sorry. So if your entire existence on the internet is dealing with drama, right? Making fun of someone and how they look and how they act and how they sound because they're a joke, ha ha ha. Dude, that is the most immature girly shit. You are so gay if all you do is sit on the internet insulting people all day, period. And that goes for all the drama content creators. That goes for all the fucking detractor channels. You're gay. Now, that's okay if you're accepting of that, but you understand that. That's the content you put out. Like, I remember when I first started on YouTube, all right? There were people who, like, were totally into serious subject matters. I'm passionate about this subject matter, and I make videos about it. I make content about it. And then there were the people who were like, oh my God, did you hear what this celebrity did today? Did you hear what this guy did today? Did you hear what this guy, did you see how this guy looked? Look at this picture. Oh my God. And that's the kind of content they put out, and they blew up for it. And it became a very prominent thing on YouTube back in the day. But it was always the effeminate, the gay side of it. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that at all. I'm not saying that's bad content or whatever. Hey, there's an audience for it. That became a very prominent audience on YouTube back in the day. For sure, 1,000,000%. But now what's happened is, somehow, that content has evolved into like, no, it's all mainstream, it's okay, it's normalized, but it's not. It's drama, it's immature, it's meant for like teenage girls and gay guys. It always was. Like, that was supposed to be seen as like this kind of immature level of stuff that you grow out of. Somehow now it's been built. No, now there's big business behind this drama content, this making fun of people, this tearing people down. If all you do all day is act like that, you know what I'm saying? Exactly, the T channels, all this shit. That is a very culture-centric kind of content. And the fact that people sit on there, oh no, what are you talking about? I'm a big manly man who's all confident in himself, but I still make this content that makes fun of others. No, you're not. You're not confident in yourself. If you were, you wouldn't make fun of others. You'd be confident enough in your own content that you don't have to bring others down. The only people who have to do that are people who are not confident in themselves and or have this feeling of like immaturity, drama, again, teenage girl shit. And that's a whole business on YouTube now, but it's normalized, right? No, it's not. If that's all you do, there's a problem there. And the problem is you. You're an insecure little bitch who just sits there crapping on other people. You're the little sissy, not the person you're making fun of because they're just trying to live their life. You're the sissy girl in the equation. But the thing is, that used to be known. That actually used to be known mainstream. Like, you'd look at that and be like, all right, you got your little T channels and your little, this guy on the internet who acts effeminate and he talks like celebrity gossip and shit. But now it's become like, oh, but now it's mainstream acceptable because you had guys who turned it into big business. No, it's still stupid. It's still immature. It's still gay. It's okay if it's gay, but you have to accept that it's gay. You have to accept that it's this immature girly shit. It's effeminate. Dudes who are straight and confident in themselves don't have to talk shit about other guys constantly because they got their own shit going on. Why do I care about what anyone else outside of my stream is doing? I don't. You guys come into my stream. Did you hear what this guy said about you? Did you hear what that guy said? I don't give a fuck. Dude, today I ran a great stream, an entertained audience. I made bank. Everyone had a great time. Why the fuck do I care what anyone else on this planet did today? I'm the one in charge here. I'm the big cheese. I don't have to sit and crap on other people because I'm happy and I'm successful. If all you do is crap on other people, that's because you ain't got shit for yourself because you're a bitch. You're a little coward. You're a little fucking sissy girl. It's that simple. It's not a big, there's really no other way to spin it. If all you do is shit on others all day, you're an insecure little cowardly bitch. And you will never have anything to do for yourself besides dump on others. The day that others don't do embarrassing things, you have nothing to do. Because you have no content. It's called non-tent. It's just bringing up other people's shit. That's not content. That's non-tent. That's you only rely on others to have success for today. Literally, the entire world could blow up around me today, and I would still have content to make. I'd have games to play. I'd have things to do. I don't rely on others to have a bad day for me to have a good day. But sadly, there's just a lot of people that's their entire existence on the internet. That's the worst kind of fucking internet content. It really is. It's just a bunch of bitches. A bunch of little sissy gay bitches. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're okay with that. But isn't it funny that if you ever say that to them, what? Oh, what? Me, effeminate, me, not confident in myself, me, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That's why you have to do this stunt. That's why you have to act like some fucking bitch on a stream, constantly talking shit about other people. Soul at 2 a.m. did a $2 super chat. Is it okay to be gay? Yes, it is. That's fine, as long as you accept it. But that's what I mean. Like, the people who are prominent for making that kind of content will be like, oh no, what are you talking about? No, I'm a super confident, ultra butch male, bro. Yeah, sure you are. Whatever you say. Nick Smith did a $2 super chat. Says, who's your favorite gay? Oh, let me tell you, this is a topic that I think about all day. What I do is I have an actual ranking of people who are homosexual, and I rank them all day in my head. And then sometimes the rankings change during the day's events because I just sit there on drama sites and social media and I see what they're saying and doing to each other. And I just constantly have the ranking fluctuating all day long. Anyway, thanks, Roy, for $2. Or they're going to fly you out to a bar. Well, you know. Let me put it this way. I think to be who you are in life and be confident in who you are is way more acceptable than to be a closeted denier. I'll put it that way. It's way more brave. It's way more acceptable for you to accept who you are in life and say, this is who I am. I'm going to stop denying it. I'm going to stop hiding it because I'm a coward, because I have a certain kind of customer base that I need to fucking basically, bend over to and say that I'm not. You could just be honest and admit it. But, there's some people who are cowards. All right, let's finish the job. Especially today, because in today's society, it's completely acceptable to be whatever you want, right? You can be straight, you can be gay, you can be in between, whatever you want, and it's all acceptable and it's fine, and I don't care about it either. There's nothing wrong with being any kind of sexual preference or any kind of, gender or whatever. It's all good. It really is. I don't give a shit. So why are you hiding it? Why are you lying about it? Why are you closeted, huh? Oh, because the money's coming in today. Oh, I see. Because you're pretending the money comes in, so you can't be honest with yourself. Got it. I got a $3 tip. Someone says, this is clout-based DSP take. PPP has bigger tits than my girlfriend. Who said that? I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't name anyone by name. I'll tell you right now, I was just speaking in generalities tonight. I absolutely was not referencing anyone whatsoever tonight at all. This is a very non-specific rant that I had. I had no one in mind at all. And therefore, absolutely, you cannot say that because that is not what I said. I never said that. How dare you? I mean, if you want to project yourself like that on tonight's stream with a $3 tip, that's fine, but don't put words into my mouth, all right? Understand. By the way, how would you know that PPP's chest is bigger than your girlfriend's? Have you felt him up too? Have you actually had it? All right, you know what? Don't answer that question. I don't need to know. Blue Mist, I don't think I banned those names, did I? Here's the thing. I don't want my streams to constantly be talking shit about anyone. I don't. It's fun every once in a while you guys bring it up when we do the, when we're doing Truck Sim or whatever. I just don't want every stream to be, hey guys, what do you think about what they did today? What do you think about what happened today? I don't care. That's the honest, God's honest truth. I don't care about them. I literally cut the cord in March. I don't have any relation to them at all. I don't care about what they say and do. They have nothing to do with me. As you can see, I'm riding high. I'm having a good time with my life right now, right? Why would I care about them in any capacity? So you can talk about them as much as the guy just turned in front of me. It was a green light. You saw that, right? Anyway, I don't care about them in any capacity. I don't want to talk about them on every stream. You know what I mean? I don't. I want nothing to do with them. So I don't know, you guys can bring them up, but I'm just going to ignore it 9 times out of 10.
I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.